This pandemic side, it's everybody's line, and no one can stop me. When it jump, you just run it for me. And don't I see you gotta know this. Bang, bro. Bang, bro. Bang, bro. This pandemic side, it's everybody's line, and no one can stop.
So welcome to Rimas Shapelo kunjani ngicela yasekhaya eziphandisaka namhlanje futhi sifikile and ngiyabona we are all about flavors. Namhlanje sizokhuluma nje anything culinary, anything enama taste bites. Kuthi mamela yazini kuthi nje namhlanje you are here for a tasteful episode. You understand? Let me singibeke nje kanjalo. So today we are stepping into a flavorful world of culinary entrepreneurship with a trailblazer who's turning meals into a masterpiece and dreams into a reality. Yeah? From humble beginnings to tantalizing taste sensations, her journey is a testament to the power of passion and perseverance in the kitchen. Get ready to tantalize your taste buds and ignite your imagination as we uncover the secrets and savory successes of the Tobs Wraps. Mamas, kunjani? Ngiyaphila. Hey, lento yami le intro yami le yazini. Mamela.
It's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful.
It sounds tasty.
It's a otherwise right wena mama.
Right.
Yo sizolokushisa yazini.
Yeah.
Ne?
It's extremely hot.
It's extremely hot.
No, it's extremely hot.
Shem, nami nje ngiza nje kanje ngiyasho ukuthi yo angifika nje la yakhona ngifika nje amanzi.
Amanzi
Isidinge
amandla.
ngifuna nje ngifuna amanzi. Angifuni nje ukukhuluma okuningi.
Yeah.
But yeah, ngiyajabula ukubona, ngiyajabula ukuthi senze isikhathi nathi today. How's things? How's things?
Firstly, thank you for coming in the scorching sun.
Because yeah.
I know how passionate you are ngomsebenzi wakho. You actually walked all the way. Utshiswa ilanga. That's some serious passion right there. Otherwise, we're doing great. We are doing what we're supposed to be doing, you know, in the circumstances. We wake up every day, we are, optimistic for new opportunities every day, new customers every day. So we put in the work no matter the situation.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true, because every entrepreneur must put in the work.
You must put in the work.
You must do what you need to do in order to do what you
want to achieve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No. So I love it. So kancane since before sichubeka siyaphambili sithola nge-Tobs Wraps ukuthi qale kanjani, and can you briefly nje give us a background of la uphuma khona, la ukhulela khona, and tell us a bit more about yourself.
Okay. So I was born in Katlehong.
Sure.
Emgadi to be exact.
Umgadi.
Yeah.
Mafika ngikhulela Emgadi.
Are
Emgadi
you
kuphi?
serious? Mara mina ngimdala nakuwe so
Yeah.
angeke ukwazi vele. So Emgadi, right next to the hostel.
Yeah.
You know, like
Bongani.
yeah,
Masa kamabuzi.
yeah, but the main road.
F5.
Yeah, F5
Yeah.
by the hostel, like the first house by the
Hotel.
hostel. I don't know who lives there now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I was born there. I grew up there until
Sure.
the early 90s. Remember when there were like these fights between yes.
Yeah.
So I left. That's when we left our home. Sadly, it was a beautiful big family. We lived with our grandmother and grandfather.
Sure.
And I had a lot of cousins. My mom still lived with us. It was a vibrant home. It was a big family. Unfortunately, then we had to leave because of Lezo Zimbilezo. Then I went to go live with my dad at Ahati. Like my primary school life. I think, in primary school until I think about grade 9. I stayed with my dad until about grade 9.
Sure.
And then I moved with my mom, Efos Lorasi. Just early high school. I think grade 10. Then I moved with my mom, Efos Lorasi. And I've been here ever since. And work-wise, I studied project management at Boston. And then after that, I was really interested in skills development. I wanted to be a project coordinator, but related to skills development. For some reason, I had an interest. That's when I started learning about summer learnerships and things like that.
Sure.
So luckily there was an exhibition here, PCTA. They came to just do their activation, whatever. And I found a pamphlet there. So a project manager by the lady Mamdike lady. I sent her an email. I didn't even see her. I just
Sure.
got a pamphlet,
Sure.
sent her an email which I was there. Unfortunately they were already gone. And I also studied project management. I'm interested in learning more about skills development. And for some reason, I don't know, she gave me a call like 2 months later
Yeah.
to like come for an interview at Pretoria.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, okay.
It's one good, yeah.
Yeah, so I went for my interview at Pretoria. Then I got the job. I worked as a board secretariat for my internship. And then I got a position here, project assistant, APCTA. And then after APCTA, I moved on to a private company in, no, I can't remember the name,
Sure.
sorry.
Sure.
Then carried on with skills development. Nalabo, I was a training coordinator. After that, I wanted to see, so I went to the CETA. I started at the CETA, got to understand how a CETA works,
Sure,
like learnership
sure,
wise
sure.
and stuff. And then I wanted to go see what it's like when you are a service provider. So the private sector was part of the service provider. Got to experience that, and then I wanted to go and see what corporate training looks like.
Sure, sure.
So that's when I moved at Tobs Travel Services. And yeah, I worked there as a youth development coordinator. I got to be a skills development facilitator as well. Then decided to do my assessor certificate and moderator certificate because I just wanted the
Oh,
whole
yeah,
understanding
yeah,
of how
yeah.
the whole package comes together. And
Sure.
yeah, that was my last corporate job at
Oh.
Tobs, and this was 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
2019.
and during your teenager, kuwo wonke lama company lawo, going from in and out wonke lama company lawo, what are the most valuable lesson obocabanga ukuthi angeke uyidinge mase unebhizinisi ongathi uyakhumbula nje kahle?
Sure. Having employees.
Yeah. I guess vele you have challenges now, ne?
You know, you sit there and you look at somebody else and you're like, hey, I don't like the way they treat me like this and
Yeah.
whatever, whatever. But now that I'm an employee, I obviously have to look back at the how the environment was, how I interacted with my employer and things like that, and try to make the environment different from what I didn't like. So yeah, that was one valuable lesson.
Because I guess really you work with different human like beings,
Personalities, yes,
and
yeah.
characters. So
Mm.
I'm sure it's challenging.
It is. It's challenging, but I love it because I've always been a people's person. It's just that this side is like more professional,
Yeah.
but I do get along Nabantu quite a lot, and you'll find when you start a job. I remember my last job, my manager, everyone was like, you don't know how you're gonna work with this person, blah 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 blah. And for some reason, we had the best relationship ever, and they just could not believe it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's my personality.
For
I
sure,
guess
for
uthanda
sure.
abantu.
And mom, before you quit your last job, did you ever think about say, okay, maybe if, or maybe did you have doubts? Like, did you ever have doubts of like leaving your safe job and going into entrepreneurship?
For some reason, I had no doubts at all. I even asked God to strike me with lightning if I stayed. I was so sure.
Yeah.
I was so sure with whatever I was going to do. It's going to be something that I'm passionate about. I'm going to give it my all because food has always been like a passion for me.
Sure.
And yeah, from just a young age, whenever there would be something ekaya, I would be the one that is extra and doing something extra with the food or experimenting with the food.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a difficult decision to make. And also, just looking back, I think I've also had this entrepreneurial spirit from a young age.
Yeah.
I remember, man, I used to sell. I remember when I first learned how to clean.
Sure.
I taught my cousins abahlala KZN, and they took it then and ran with it, and basaqhina namanje
Fine,
for
sure.
money. And I remember also I can crochet. I taught one of my cousins, she was older than me, actually schooling, and when I would go to school, then she would stay and make the bags, and then I would sell the bags schooling. So now that I'm looking back, hey,
Kahle kahle kudala ikhona
kahle
le.
kahle, this
Yeah.
has always been, yeah, it's always been me.
And what would you say ukuthi yini inspire i-Tobs Wraps? Because njengoba usho ukuthi pheka kudala kwaziwa
Mm,
so
mm.
what inspired the decision like a restaurant?
So it Tobs Wraps, my main concern was when there were listeriosis.
Yeah,
Remember, there was a
listeriosis. Yeah.
breakout here, listeriosis,
Mm-hmm.
and actually a neighbor of ours that we close to, Umtanake, actually passed away
Yeah.
from, yeah, then it got me worried, Uguti. Here we are, elokishini, we're just consuming whatever is given to us. There are no questions about the safety, the authenticity of the food that comes in here. Siyadla nje. So we are at other people's mercy, and I have kids now. So nabantwana bami bayayithanda ikota, and anything can happen
Sure,
to them,
sure.
So I was like, if I'm gonna start this business, how is it going to set me apart from everybody else? And like, what difference would I want to bring to the community? So yeah, so I thought about what difference I was going to make in the community with Tobs Wraps. So the decision was to make everything myself, so that I can be in control of the quality, I can be in control of the authenticity of the ingredients that we're going to use, and yeah, just out of that.
So was that the answer you got when you thought about the community?
Yeah. And also, part of coming from the skills development background, I also wanted with whatever business I was going to start, it needs to be a business that can skill the next person. Also my surroundings were to of unemployment and things like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't just want to have people abazoza abafunda ukwenza ama-chips kuphela.
Sure,
I wanted
sure.
people that
Want
are
to
gonna,
grow.
yeah,
Yeah.
people that I'm gonna grow with the understanding of the background, the skills development. How do you mentor? How do you, mold people to be able to now go to interviews, maybe in like a corporate space, and whatever. So I guess I wanted to bring the two together. I wanted to bring my passion for cooking and my passion for skills development together.
And speaking of master tools development, what do you think maybe when from ngokubona kwakho like especially in our community maybe asithi nje i-Caterpillars, imaphi which skills do we need the most?
I think we need technical skills the most. We need to be able to work with our hands.
Sure.
We need to be able to create our own employment. So isn't it like your plumbing, your welding, your electricity, like about beauty and things like that. There's the skills that your neighbors would need. You wouldn't need to go out and go look for a job, whatever. Those are the kind of skills that we need to have. I mean, if we know magune plumber, I mean, uzosebenziswa yithi sonke in the community.
Sure.
And our kids grow up knowing ukuthi uSipho is a plumber and whatever, and mabane interest of learning to be a plumber, they don't need to go far, whatever. Usipo can always take them along and whatever. There's always that community makunalo umuntu loyo. But I feel like we don't promote those skills as rare skills that actually have a lot of money. I feel like those skills are vilified. And if you're doing like plumbing, you are seen as umuntu onganamali, and unceda abantu nje. And those are actually one of the scarce skills in our country, and one of the most paying skills in our country.
For sure.
Mm.
Mara manje someone out there bekusibhekile laphaya asho ukuthi vele okay, so here's Usipho doing the plumbing and stuff.
Mm.
Then Usipho I guess maybe sisho ukuthi or maybe i-perspective kahle uSipho simbona la and simbona ngathi akafuna ukugrow. You understand? Maybe ukuthi uSipho akayithathi serious. You understand? Maybe informal i-business kaSipho. So maybe ma-informalize and start marketing it ngendlela right. Maybe sizoyibona ngendlela. Uyabona? So I think difference.
Yes.
That's the difference between uSipho no Plumber le Albertine.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because uplumber le Albertine uyibrandile ibhizinisi yenze yonke le nto le and uSipho like us siyazi ukuthi uSipho the plumber.
Thatha
Thatha noma So walk us through from la uqale khona ke from Tobs Wraps, like walk us through with, like what were some of the initial challenges you had starting a business lapho and to last corner manje, because you can see with now manje is establishing the manje you're a fully run restaurant. What were some of the challenges you faced in starting a business?
Yo, the challenges, ne? I think the main challenge for every entrepreneur, obviously, go by like capital to start. You know, but I don't want to say capital is like the most important thing with kala business. Iyafuneka, but there are other ways around it. If you know your business, the kind of business you want to run, and you know how to play around to get the things that you need. So obviously with ukudla, you need your equipment, your stove, whatever. That wasn't a challenge for me. I didn't have the capital, but I mean, akhona ma 2-plate stove, akhona ma cooler box, and that's how I actually started. I had my 2-plate stove, I had a cooler box. I managed to get my husband to buy me a stove, yogenza ma chips, like used my network as well, my own family, my friends, whatever, to just get started, because I think that's the most important part to get started. So that's how I started, and being scared as well. I didn't know anything about pricing. I didn't know I didn't know anything about costing. I didn't know anything. All I knew is that I make amazing food, and I know
the food is gonna sell.
when people taste my food, they're gonna buy it.
For sure.
And then I just started like that. I would come one day, I would get like one customer. The second day, I'd get like two.
Sure.
Then I would be like on my social media, my own personal Facebook page, trying to market to friends and and whatever. And slowly but surely, the customers started coming. I remember when I started, my rep was like 25 rand.
Yeah.
And people were like, 25 rand. I guess it was a good strategy. Even if I didn't know, it was a good strategy. They liked how it looked on the pictures, and then they came to come and taste it. And when I took up the prices, people didn't complain. And I was like, hey, okay, I guess there's room to like play around. And I just went on and increased the prices, and when that little money would come, then I would invest it in whatever that I would need for the business, until I had like quite good equipment. And then I was burgled, and everything was stolen.
Like kumele uqale phansi manje.
Kwamele ukuthi ngiqalele phansi. Ngaqalela futhi the same way that I started. 2 plates again. For some reason they didn't take the 2 plates. It was there. Wow. And I started again, same way, obviously with a few more customers now. And I was also on like a delivery service that was able to market me a little bit more. And that's when I started getting my customers foodie. And then the second burglary happened when they had like the looting, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then it hit me. And I went back again, and and started again, and I'm still here with all those challenges. And then also my challenges of finding people who kind of get your vision of what you're trying to do, like staff wise.
Sure.
So I changed staff members quite a lot because I think they didn't expect the like in the level of professionalism that I wanted my business to have internally. You know, I wanted the business to run without me.
Sure.
So, you know, I wasn't easy on small things. It was, no, itchy, you know. I started thinking about, you know, I'm a cost of everything and, you know, just the little information that I was getting outside about business. So I wanted my business to have great systems. So with that, I needed to make sure whoever is going to be working with me understands that and they don't compromise that because I'm also doing something new in the township. So whatever that was going to go out, it needs to be a great experience. And yeah.
And you mentioned Wuti, there were points where you were scared of pricing. I guess it's not just you. I think each and every other entrepreneur has a problem. What about like is temable rental? Like what's the cause value of this fear? This unknown fears now that we have.
You know what? We don't come from backgrounds that know much about business. So thina mawuqala business uyaqala nje. And most of the time when people start a business they'll check ukuthi okay ikota yalapha yana i-20 rand mina eyami izoba i-18 rand.
Sure,
You
just
know,
to beat the market.
just to beat the market and also to steal that other person's customers. um I think it's just that lack of information which um there's no information like where to go when you want to start a business and just have those basic business skills. Bezingekho. It's just learning while you do it. So it's very important. I'd encourage abantu ukuthi if you are going to start a business, have a plan of how the business is going to run without you, because we see all these businesses about Pick and Pay and whatever. You don't see the CEO sitting next to the cashier and whatever
Sure.
you know. Just having that mind for a business to run like that, what would be the systems that you need to put in place. But also I think Nati, I mean, I'm a person who loves to, I'm curious about things. So I went around looking around with what is it that is available
Sure.
la elokishini
Sure.
that helps our businesses, and I came across this incubation la Katlehong.
EWC.
Yeah, EWC. I went in, introduced myself, asked what they do, and they told me what they do. I was like, oh great,
For sure.
okay, so this is where I can come. You know, they do trainings, they offer trainings, they offer space as well. If you don't have a laptop, you can use their laptop. They have Wi-Fi, so you can do everything that you need to do there. So I think we just need to have this spirit of learning, this curious mind. Yoguti, if I'm gonna do this, how is it done? Before we enter anything, how is it done? And where can I get the information to make sure that I'm doing it right? So I think the challenge it's just not having that information, but also putting it on ourselves, how curious we are, how hungry we are to get that information. Because it's always good to say, oh, we don't come from business backgrounds or whatever, but what are you doing about it? You know?
True.
Yeah.
I mean that's true. That's true. Yeah, and then I can't depend on the food. We need to be curious. Like we need to be like children. Then we need to go back to our childhood and start to have fun understand, because I think it's bulawa ile kepha ile onto leyo.
Abantu bazothini.
Yayibona manje. But manje not knowing ukuthi le nto leyo like isebenzela wena. Understand? But le fear le pricing le siyayisaba, you understand? Sisaba nokuthi abantu bazosikhethisa ukuthi Tobile manje uyadura, you understand? And Tobile can't compromise ingredients and stuff. Can't compromise those izinto leyo.
I think going back to it, okay, now let me answer that directly because I think I kind of went around. I think in Daba ear pricing also just maybe as just tips for abanye abantu with the information I've been
Sure.
getting. If umuntu maybe they're afraid to price or whatever, the main thing of knowing how to price is knowing who you're selling to. You know, you need to know exactly who you are selling to, who your market is. Because I always have this argument nabantu masikhuluma ukuthi who are you selling to? No, mina ngithengisela wonke umuntu, wonke
Yeah.
umuntu i-customer,
Kanti ukuthi
wonke
wonke
umuntu
umuntu
uyadla.
une-customer lakhe.
I'm like, yeah, wonke
Yeah.
umuntu uyadla, but kunabantu who like certain type of food, you know, and that certain type of food in a price yayo. You know, like mawuthola abantu abasebenza ku-construction, most of the time they like to eat together. Abathengi like
Yeah.
kancane
No, no, no,
kancane.
one,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's because
Yeah.
maybe they don't have enough money to like buy it for themselves.
Sure.
So you need to know ukuthi okay, mina ngithengisela abantu abaso, mina ngithengisela abantu abaso, mina ngithengisela abantu abaso. So you need to know your market.
market.
Yes, you need to know like from top to bottom ukuthi bahlala kuphi, bagcoka ini, where do they hang out, you know, how often do they eat out?
Sure.
If they eat out, what do they eat out? How much are
For
they
sure.
willing to spend when they eat out? Then you sort of come up with like an avatar of your target person ukuthi mina ngitargete lo.
Yeah.
That's why maybe I'll make an example ngabo abo bantu konja laba bama ultramel konja i-cotton.
Yeah. Yeah.
ishop ethengisela i-cotton bayazi exactly
For
ukuthi
sure.
i-cotton zithanda ini, and i-cotton ziyazi exactly where to go. Ngeke uthole is-cotton trying to find a shirt at Truworths.
For sure.
They
for
know
sure.
exactly where to
Yeah.
go find iskipa says cotton.
True,
You know.
true. That's an excellent example. Yeah.
Hey,
That's a marvelous example.
so angeke ayele to go find. They'll know exactly where to find Elon. And the people that are selling to Ikotan, they know Ikotan love to spend money.
Yeah.
They want expensive things.
Sure.
So they price that way because they know Ikotan must figure.
That's
The
true.
more expensive it is, the
Yeah,
better.
the better.
Ukuthi uzoshinela omunye
True,
umuntu.
true,
So
true.
yeah,
Ne?
knowing
Wow.
your
know your
market.
market. Yeah. Know your market. Like we important very kakhulu ukwazi market. We important kakhulu ukuyistudy nokuyistudy market yakho futhi. So no, thank you for the information yakho. And now we're entrepreneur. I hope uzwile. Ungacabanga ukuthi uma ebhizinisi lakho ukhetharela wonke umuntu. You're not for everyone. When you are for a selective few or whoever lo uthandayo, whatever, yeah. I understand. Hope you got it. Yeah. So what was that pivotal moment? Was that pivotal moment after wonke lama challenges lawa, and that pivotal moment or that decision that significantly impacted maybe your trajectory of your business life?
I think when, like I'm saying, when I started going to these
Events, yeah.
the trainings
Oh,
and
yeah.
starting to meet with other business people,
Sure.
you know, then I came back and I'm like, kahle, like, where is the direction of my business? I come from a corporate. I know nothing about a business.
Yeah.
So what am I gonna do about that? And that's when I saw there was a program, yeah, Gibbs, like an entrepreneurship program, yeah,
Sure.
yeah, Gibbs, and it was going to be 8 months.
Okay.
And that meant ukuthi 8 months of me being away from the business, but not like every
Sure,
day
every
in
day.
8 months.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was, I think our classes were like once a month.
Yeah.
So I think that's when I decided ukuthi I want to fully understand the whole idea of a business, a whole idea of having the mentality of an entrepreneur. Because I believe we can all start businesses, but there are entrepreneurs and then there are just people who are running businesses. So
I'm self-employed.
yes, I'm a self-employed, but I knew ukuthi I want to be an entrepreneur. I think I have the spirit of an entrepreneur. You know, everything that I had faced, you know, I think my resilience and all of that, you know, just showed ukuthi I think I have the
Destined for that.
entrepreneur spirit. So I fully immersed myself in the program and graduated with distinction. And and now when I see other programs or they offer me the programs,
Sure.
I am so confident to ask Ubutu, what content are you covering in the in that program because I've already done this with Gibbs and whatever. And only to find that most of them have like the same content.
Sure.
So just also running away from duplicating and just wanting to
Nothing to
do
do. Yeah, yeah,
everything that
yeah, yeah.
everybody else is
Sure,
doing.
sure.
Yeah.
Ne?
So I think, yeah.
And how was the experience of it keeps you?
Oh my God, you know that
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
every entrepreneur needs to go through that program
Ne?
because it doesn't only teach you about entrepreneurship, it also looks at you. You also get to look at yourself as a person.
Mhm.
You know, there's also like more a psychological part where you actually even go as deep as your childhood, you know, the some of the traumas that you faced and all of that, and be able to look at them at the position where you are right now, you know. And maybe if it was something you didn't heal from, it sort of takes you back there to also tap into that space, because you know with business there's like a whole lot of things that go on that might actually bring back those memories that you thought
Sure.
were gone. So having that opportunity as well to go back that far,
Mm.
you know, with yourself and see your true self, like if you have healed or if you need to go back there and heal whatever that needs to be healed. And also I think having the experience of having facilitators who actually run their own businesses,
Sure.
so you're not getting like a facilitator or funde gupi gupi, and then they come and they read.
Yeah.
The experience is someone who's a subject matter
Sure.
expert
Sure.
who
Sure.
runs that
Who run their
business, you know.
businesses? Yeah.
Your questions are relevant to them, you know. It's not a matter of, no, abanye abantu, this is what they do. No, this is what this person does,
Mm.
and these are their solutions to whatever problem that you might be having in your business.
So, personally, do you think we need a lecture enjalo at varsity?
Most definitely,
Most definitely.
most definitely. Even these incubators lezi zikhona,
Yeah.
government, I think whoever is hiring has it all wrong.
Mm.
You cannot be a business advisor of a business person when you've never owned a business.
Mm.
Like,
Business advisor. But
yeah,
can't you be a coach? Maybe someone else might argue, I'd be okay, maybe I'm a coach.
I think it needs to be termed correctly.
Mm.
But for me, if I'm given a business advisor who has never owned a business,
Mm.
when I come with my challenges, they won't understand what I'm
True.
talking about.
True.
You
True.
know, if I'm talking about my employees,
Mm.
they've never experienced having
Employees.
employees. So how are they going to help me?
True. 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 So that's why you need, okay. So that's why you need a mentor and a coach.
Mm,
So a mentor is someone who has an expert.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Because those are two different things. A
For
mentor and a
sure. A
coach,
coach.
they don't do the same things.
Sure. True.
Yeah.
True. 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 And that's very much true.
Mm.
And there's something else I mentioned in the book. Kangeni. But again,
Okay,
when we
we'll
move
come
on, we
back to
come
it.
back to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, from I just wanna understand with you from okay from lapha overthethe ukugidi niyehlulekile kuthatha ukugidi.
Mm.
And you mentioned something efana nokuthi utheni kanje. Okay, let me just pass ngokuya kuwe but
Okay.
because so important ukuthi ngimention le nto leya.
No, it'll
But
come
yeah,
back to you.
okay, we'll come back to it. Yeah. So creative process yakho, like your creative process nje, how do you, I'm sure as entrepreneurs we all have our mental breakdown moments. I understand. So when you're going through that, what keeps you moving? What gives you the drive? What gives you the drive? Because yes, motivation comes and goes. I
Mm.
understand. But what keeps you going? Kuleyo moment leyo or leso state of mind leyo.
Mm. I think what keeps me going is the vision. Ukuthi, like I visualize, I've already visualized the success of my business. I see it there. You know, I see ukuthi mangisuka la, when everything, you know,
I never.
falls into, I see it.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah, yeah,
visualize it,
yeah.
I see it. And I think also like I'm too far to like go back
Sure. Like
or
you are
give up.
too into the art.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
I've come so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it would be such a disappointment to my kids who think it's amazing that my mom can make things from scratch. You know, it's amazing that my mom has the top wraps. My kids talk about the top wraps like it's something big.
Yeah.
You
KFC to
know,
there.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
KFC to them. You
Yeah.
know, my son when he started reading, every time he would see my logo, mommy, top
Ah.
wraps. I mean.
Yeah. A proud moment
It's
right
a proud
there.
moment,
Yeah.
and just to leave it in jail and just give up like that. No, I don't think
Yeah.
I would ever do that. I've come so far, and I think it's the vision
Yeah.
that just keeps me going. Which I see it, I taste it,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel it,
Yeah. For sure.
yeah.
So masicala we masicala i-chocolate because kunama-wraps lana
Mm,
kunebhaki lana
mm.
ne. So initially was it just wraps or vele you bayibiza nge-wrap vele lento
Yeah, correct.
i-wrap right but manje mase ibizwa mase
Rap.
i-wrap
It's still a
it's
rap.
still a wrap.
It's still a
Okay,
rap.
so
Yeah.
masicala siqale ngayiphi i-wrap, which
Okay.
wrap?
So we started with the wrap that is filled with
Okay, it's
like
filled, yeah, yeah,
with meat and
yeah.
chips and salad inside. So the beauty of being a GIMS student in this
Sure.
program gave birth to that.
Mm.
Ukuthi it just
Mm.
opened up my mind so much.
Yeah.
Ukuthi, we- we- learning about other streams of income,
Sure.
learning about
Sure.
monetizing your current service or
Mm-hmm.
product that
Mm-hmm.
you are offering. What else can you
Can add,
do?
yeah.
When I was sitting there, I'm like, but I mean, I make these wraps myself every single day. And I see wraps being sold in my shop rights and
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I can do the same thing.
Sure.
I can um, uh, manufacture these wraps, package them, zip it professionally done, get them tested, and also now get into the retail
It's okay.
space
Yeah.
where I can sell the wraps as well.
Mm. Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's why I need every entrepreneur needs to go through some sort of entrepreneurship development program.
Mm. Nah, I didn't tell you. Going back to tips, ne? You mentioned stepping back to your stories, maybe your childhood trauma.
Mm,
Okay.
mm,
What's the importance of stepping back into your traumas and yini eyenzakalayo? Why is it so much important? Because you're not the first person on it. I
mm,
think I did a episode last.
mm,
Same mother, mom mentioned it the very same thing. But I guess mine now I mention I rang movie with
mm,
why should we go back again?
mm. I think it's important to go back because abanye abantu they get stuck there.
Mm.
You know, uthola ukuthi umuntu the whatever that they went through was so traumatizing. Ukuthi it just kept them there. They don't probably have any
Self-esteem.
the abana self-esteem, they don't have dreams, they don't have anything. It actually killed them,
Mm.
you know and maybe being in a space like that, it's a safe space because if you tap into it, they are open to receiving whatever emotions are going to come from that, and you also get the help that you need. So sometimes you find Gucci, I didn't know this about myself. Now I'm an employer, and maybe something happens with my employee that sort of like triggers
Mm.
whatever happened to
Okay,
me,
sure, sure.
and maybe it becomes something horrible. I do something horrible to my employee, or
Mm.
I do something
Sure, sure,
that is just triggered from that, and I wasn't aware of it.
sure.
So I think self-awareness is very important because in a work environment, especially as an employer, your emotional intelligence need to be in check. You can't take izinto the way you would take it,
Right.
you know
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
endlini,
yeah.
or being offended by a friend or
Mm.
whatever. It's not the same way you speak to an employee. So tapping back to that, you kind of understand that, oh my God, maybe I come off very cold, so I'm not approachable maybe to my staff member
Sure,
or
sure,
whatever.
sure,
Or
sure.
maybe I'm an emotional person. If anything happens, then I'm gonna start bawling and crying in front of my employees.
Sure, sure.
And you just need to be in check of yourself and how to handle your emotions, especially in that kind of an environment. So it's very important ukuthi na ungathuli one day ukwaze umuntu,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like in the kitchen. you'll be
yeah.
you'll be there and then
Yo, because I can already imagine ukuthi kuba njani.
like fella,
Yeah,
you get
yeah, yeah,
frustrated,
for sure.
so
Mm,
your emotions need to be in check.
for sure.
Mm,
Ne? Okay, so it is important going back to the trauma,
mm,
healing from your
mm,
trauma.
mm,
Yeah, so healing, healing.
mm,
And oh, I love
mm.
it, I love it. And starting out, or maybe even not even starting out, but your whole journey, who has been supporting you throughout, and even till today, saying, you know what, yo, when number one, you understand? And I'm sure that person inspires you to be even a greater person.
Yo, this is like a sore one for me. It was actually my dad.
Mm,
So when we came, this place didn't look anything like this. The
sure.
toilets were not even working, and that guy was just my handyman, my everything. I don't think I would have had the strength to continue after all the challenges that I went through if it wasn't for him. And unfortunately, I lost him last year.
Mm, sorry
Around,
that you.
it's gonna be a year now in March, just before his birthday. So I know he wanted the best for me, and he was my greatest motivator, my advisor, my friend. My dad was just my everything.
Mm,
And yeah,
okay.
I'm just so sad, Wuti.
Nami sorry futhi ngisho naye la khona uhappy nje yakubona ukuthi hawu Nkosi yami nayi
Yes,
ingane
I
yami
think we're happy, and I
uMasibeko.
think uyangivulela like all the other doors
Ne?
that were not opening, because there's so many things that are happening for Namanje, great opportunities, that I didn't have when I started.
Sure,
Like Konamanje, I'm talking like a whole different story
sure.
about my business just internally, nje.
Mm,
That foundation that I was looking for,
sure,
things are just coming together.
sure. Ne?
And I would say, ooh, yeah.
Uye ne?
I would say, ooh, yeah. But also not taking away from my mom and my husband.
Mhm,
Nabo, they've been very supportive in this journey. Especially with my husband now being the only person working
mm.
and having to take care of all of us. It's
Kind of draining.
yo, it's draining. I feel for him, and that's why I want to work so hard, to just be able to thank him and show him what this whole stress and frustration was all about. So,
No, one
yeah,
day something in the Porsche.
you know,
One day something in the Porsche. One day something in the
very
Porsche.
soon,
Very soon, as
very
something in the
soon.
Porsche. Hey, Baba, yes, the Porsche like I'm thinking lane.
It's in the universe.
No,
Yeah.
and when whom in the entrepreneurial space you look up to.
So I have discovered quite a few people.
Mm-hmm.
I've discovered Witness Mbaga.
Mm-hmm.
I love his honesty
Mm-hmm.
and his realistic way of explaining to us as entrepreneurs, which it's not always rosy.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes you would want to cave in,
Mm-hmm.
but you always need to like focus on the goal. When he does the word of the day,
Sure.
you always get like, some
Yeah, for sure.
motivation.
Oh, yeah,
Yoguti,
fruit manager there.
it's actually
Yeah,
things that we are experiencing,
sure.
and I think it's so humbling to be able to feel like he's a guy that you can even find in the street
Yeah,
and be
yeah.
able to talk to him. He doesn't come across as a,
Yeah,
hey, I've
I
made it,
made it.
whatever, whatever. He's all about educating
Sure,
us.
sure, sure.
And also risky
Can check
mashego as
the
well. Okay. Risky Mashego as well.
okay.
I love his tough love approach to entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm. Tell it
I
like it is.
Yes, I'm also like a tough love kind of person, so
Mm-hmm,
I get him,
mm-hmm.
and I think I love those kind of people.
Yeah,
People I can like relate to. It's easy to like learn from them.
sure.
Yeah. And also I think at this stage that I am, I feel more comfortable with looking up to people that still feel very attached to my
Sure.
entrepreneurs, because I think abanye the level abakuyo, you kind of sometimes like doubt yourself, will I
Yeah,
even like get there or whatever, but
yeah.
you obviously want to get there.
Sure.
But for me it's always the people that make me feel the connection that
Mm-hmm.
I look up to.
Mm.
And ubanele, the uh be what is it doing, the I forgot his surname, but his name is Banele.
Manele, yeah. I
Yes,
think
so
really
Banele
good,
raised
yeah.
money with a group of people
Sure.
to start a
TikTok guy.
yes.
The big TikTok guy,
No,
yeah.
he's not like a big guy. So I think at first they were
Mm-hmm.
gonna grow fish or something,
Yeah.
but then they eventually ended up in like this meat business.
No, Manele, yeah,
Yes,
I
yeah.
know the
Oh,
guy,
is
yeah,
it him?
yeah.
Yes, I'm so
Ne,
inspired by
ne,
him.
you
I'm so
push that guy,
inspired by
you
people
push.
who are just doing like extraordinary things that
Ne,
you probably think about, but then you're like,
like,
angeke yenzakale. And then
yeah,
boom,
for sure. But,
someone does it.
ne,
It
but
gets you thinking.
I guess lento besayikhuluma izolo ukuthi like usingawenza wonke amabhizinisi like
Mm,
nawe ungavuka nakusasa uthi ngivulele
mm,
i-car wash leya,
mm,
understand,
mm,
but angeke uyenze njengalesi gayo laphaya,
mm, mm,
understand, because yena kuye i-passionate ngale nto leya,
mm,
ngithola. So even
mm,
ubanele naye
mm,
sonke siyicabangile ukuthi now I can do this, but
mm,
manje hayi mina angeke, yabona.
mm,
So I guess iya nange-passion futhi, iya
mm,
nangomuntu ukuthi khona akekho umuntu ongayenza i-Tobs Wrap njengawo, understand. Khona
mm,
ongafuna ukuyi-copy, afuna ukuyi-duplicate,
mm,
but angeke ayenze ngale ndlela wena uyenza ngayo,
mm,
understand.
mm.
So I think injalo futhi, maka-ke no, big shout out to Banele.
I am so
Ngiyamthola.
so so
Yeah,
inspired, and I know I am going to meet him
soon.
soon.
Soon, soon, soon,
Yes,
soon, 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 soon.
yes.
Ne, and oh, and who would you say my sponsors were?
Sponsors and I don't know.
Okay, so most of the mentors with coaching and sponsor.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So a mentor is someone who's an expert. Coach is someone who's a culture. Maybe you through your calls worker and whatnot and whatnot. Because as entrepreneurs, actually, we need three.
Mm,
So we need all these three goals there, like we need. So, like she was saying, we're mentioning the two. Then sponsor is someone who would mention you maybe in rooms that you are not in. Understand? In yeah, someone here who's gonna always be advocating for. So even if now they have something going on, but they'd rather advocate for someone else.
mm,
Muta, you know what? Let's rather guy who told me that, because I know Tobile can kill this man.
mm.
Who would you mention or give a shout out to the person in Roman? Kahle kade ngokufaka on the spot.
Not even, yes, not even. So that person right now would be Ukhaukelo.
Yeah.
Ukhaukelo Mogat. He
Yeah.
is like my biggest sponsor. But not only him. So what we did, how I actually met Ukhaukelo, we started our own group of
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurs
Mm-hmm.
for support purposes. For the frustrations that we go through, to avoid nendaba zama-depression ukuthi we know when we're sitting together we have the same challenges, you know.
Yeah.
So it also makes it easy to laugh at ourselves sometimes, you know, and
Yeah.
just make light of the situation.
Sure.
And you know, you're not speaking to people who are on, Mara, why
Hey,
ungayofuna
Mara, yeah.
umsebenzi,
Hey.
you know.
Vele kunjalo vele ukushinda ngeke. Ayamba ufuna umsebenzi
Nona uyosebenza lento yakho lephe uzozibulala manje,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So we have that group. So in that group, I those are also my sponsors. Udi Chaba, who buy, she makes detergents.
Sure.
There's Ulebu, she makes essential oils. There's Zama, Ulebu Wama oils.
All more oil.
Yes,
Lebuwari oil.
Lebuwari oils. Yeah, she makes essential
Sure.
oils, and there's Zama as well. She makes dried fruit. There's Uma Sesi. She owns a restaurant in the balcony. It's great.
Straight. Oh,
Yeah, and there's also, yeah, I think those like are my closest sponsors that I know which wherever they go, they'll definitely be like I.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Ne.
So the journey has been so much comforting having them around, you know. You always have someone to talk to.
No, shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out to. Shout out to. Shout out.
EBC.
Simpegile.
Yeah.
So, and wow, ne. So, and ngifuna ukwazi ke ukuthi mase simuvela ku work life balance. So work life balance,
Oh my God.
how do you balance now?
Honestly speaking, I think Konamanje, I don't have a balance
Ne?
because I am everything in the business. I think the only balanced side of the business is the shop being able to run itself, because that was my initial stance. Ukuthi mangivula, I don't wanna be the person or
Just into the brains behind.
yes. And
Yeah.
also I think because I'm an Aries, my Aries are very adventurous. Like we get bored easily, so routine is not like our thing.
Routine is not our thing.
Mm-mm.
Okay, now I speak on as an Eric.
Are you an Aries?
Yeah. But now again, lento le. Mina ngifuna sidiscuss lethu kancane, ne? Siphumele kancane. Why do we attach ourselves now whatever label laphaya? Don't you think ukuthi the moment we start associating ourselves with whatever the description ebhaliwe ukuthi we are fiery, we full of, you understand, fierce, you understand, sizonke lento lezi. Why do we attach ourselves with that? Don't you think with the moment we attach ourselves or is associated nalezi zinto lezi, we become that? So ukuthi we're not even that. Because sometimes unokubona ngifunda lento le yini horology yini.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes
Horoscopes,
ukuthi
yeah.
horoscopes and whatnot. Unokuthi ayifunda that's not me. You understand? Inokugeza lento leyo, ne? But then the moment uyithatha uyifaka emqondo and then you start becoming that. You understand? Isn't that
I I think for me now, I wouldn't say that's what it does. I think it's something I believed in from a very young age. You know, when we still had like horoscopes on magazines,
you
and
go and read
you
page
you,
there?
you, you go and read whatever. From that time, ukufika manje ngimdala, I still see myself as that person that was described lapho, even though maybe some of the things I would be like more matured ngazo, but um um I've always been a person who chooses the most positive side of things. So if it would say I am maybe short tempered or whatever,
Yeah.
it's something that I've always been conscious of and trying to do better, you know, because that's what it says about me. So it's something that I need to be conscious of. Ukuthi, this is what they say about me, but I don't want to be that.
Okay.
Yeah,
You don't want to be
yes,
that.
it
Yeah.
has made me aware of some of my weaknesses. So I sort of look at it in that eye. Yoguti, if it describes me as my negative side being that, what can I do to make that better? So for me, it's not entirely Gucci Mama, I'm fierce and whatever. Then I'm gonna be whatever. I want to be
Yeah.
better of,
Yeah.
of yes. I want to be better of what it describes me to. just that awareness. You would, oh, by the way, they perceive you as this type of a person, but it's not a good characteristic to have. So it sort of gave me that kind of kind of heads up, which you
Sure.
remember, which you are known as a hot tempered
Sure,
person and
sure,
whatever.
sure, sure.
So yeah,
Mm,
I think that's kind of like how I view it.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. And speaking of Mama character, and how is what were some of the strategies that you implemented maybe in managing your personal life and your business life because for the cool money and your work balance now.
Mm.
Okay. What are some of the strategies do you implement daily just to make sure that you are grounded?
Mm. Honestly speaking, I don't think I have that at the moment.
Mhm. Just take life as it is.
I am a new entrepreneur. I am winging it.
Mhm.
I'm working on finding that life, work
Mhm.
life balance. But okwamanje, I wouldn't say
Mhm.
it exists or I have found like
Yeah.
a
Strategy.
strategy. I think my focus konamanje is finding those opportunities, and
Mhm.
when those opportunities come, sometimes I really have to compromise my family time. And it's I think it's because of the where the business is right now. It's kind of difficult to find that, but I'm aware of it, and I know I'll probably work on it once the taharaha sort of settles
Yeah.
down. But okwamanje we are hustling.
Mhm.
So if umuntu uyafona namhlanje, they're like, hey, kusasa, can you cater for 50 people? And I have a date with my husband.
Mhm. Hey, my brother.
Young
My
understand.
brother. My brother. Hey, my brother. Where you call
Now
it,
I'm
my
gonna have to
brother?
go home and be like,
Yeah, hey,
I
oh,
really need
brother. Hey,
this and whatever,
yeah,
whatever.
man.
So I wouldn't lie and say I have that at the moment. I don't, but I'm really, really working hard to eventually get to it. That's why I think having the shop run by itself is like one thing that I can see that I've done properly. And I think Nales will eventually, now you'll find like a system and
Process.
be able to, yeah, to do it better and find that balance.
So I said, you manage solamente apenas abafundi international. Which is like, how do you let your business run itself? Because I mean, it seems like when you're perfecting it,
Yeah, I mean,
eh?
I don't want to be self-employed.
Yeah, you
I
can't,
want
you
to
can't,
I
like
want
you
to
can't.
create employment.
Yeah, creative. I guess whenever you need to be the brain, you can't be everything.
You
You
can't
know what
be
I'm
everything.
saying?
And also the beauty of having people work for you, ungekho. That's when you perfect the system, because the challenges that they have, it means you need to go back and yeah,
Bring,
need to
yeah.
go back and strategize and go back to the system with, okay, we faced this challenge, so it means this is what we need to go back and fix.
Yeah.
So people should actually take advantage of that. Then in business yakho, when an investor comes and whatever, you have your processes, you
Mm.
have you like
Systems in place.
systems in
Mhm.
place.
Everything, yeah, everything is running smooth. Yeah.
And that's why I am visualizing the 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 journey coming to that end ukuthi nayi lento besigijimisa.
Sure, sure,
This
sure,
is
sure.
what happens now when you have the balance and everything. That's why yonke into beyihlangahlangene, because lento boyilokhu uyivisualize naya laphana, and it's easy to sell it to somebody else.
True,
Yeah.
true, true. And nayi nakhe laphaya siyokhipha amashophu laphaya nayi lapha siyayibona vele ingaka imaphi amasopho siwakhipha lapha kumele sikhiphe amashophu
Maning lapha. If as Wakibi, we are going to be neighbors.
ne
We'll start by being
the
neighbors.
neighbors
By
start,
being nice
yeah,
and being
yeah,
neighbors, and
then
then kancane
slowly but surely
kancane siyaziveza.
all right again. So nazi ipayisi zethu la from la, yeah, like mina ngifuna ukubonisa this big thing. I want to see this big comic bias because this is a small picture of a bigger picture.
Mm, mm,
And I'm sure this is the main picture.
mm.
So this is the main picture, and this is a small picture
Mm.
within this picture.
Mm.
So there's our puzzle shorter. From here, yeah, where are we going?
Okay. So before we go, the vision here, Tobs Wraps, has always been to franchise the Tobs Wraps.
Sure,
The reason why when I came, I wanted to make everything myself
sure.
because my also franchiser, obviously, I would be
Everything.
yes, the yes, everything needs to be in place. Our
Sure,
reps,
sure.
our spice blends, and
Mhm.
everything like that. So the journey to the final destination is to have all of that in
In place.
place. Should we open other stores? We already have ama rep that will be distributed to those stores. Our taste in those stores will be the same, so hence I have the spice blends that we use in the
Sure,
shop.
sure.
Yes, but should we have a second shop? Angeke siqalele phansi
So
sigijime.
come on.
We just duplicating
Yeah.
from the first one. And then obviously looking at our steers and spur and whatever, they sell their own sauces.
Sure.
So I mean,
Why
why not?
not? Why
They
not?
already the template. The
Yeah,
template is
yeah.
right there. So I think that's how we need to look at them. Ukuthi they are already the template, and they do like the marketing and whatever. All you have to do is just
Just
research
duplicate.
what,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just duplicate.
yeah,
Yeah.
duplicate and make sure what you do it properly. So at the moment the reps are being tested
Okay.
by Ibiza. I should be getting AMA results very soon. And as soon as I do that, I can also now start looking into selling Google spas, pick and pays,
Okay.
and things
Oh.
like that. So that's like the next step to what is happening right now.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
Just
papayas
working on the
lapo.
compliance, just
Yeah.
working on the compliance. But when I do go knock on those doors, I've already done the research. I know what's required and things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
No,
Um,
no, no se bangena. Because ukhawu phela sebangenile.
Mangeni
Mongathi
labo how- and that's the beauty.
kamu likama.
So that's the beauty of having abantu abafana nabokhawkhelo as well, because they're so open to sharing information. We thinking of our collaborations as well, how we can collaborate amongst ourselves.
Which is
Yeah.
the number one for
And that's
go-to
what we
man.
need.
Yeah,
Tshwantse
that's
re
what we need.
squeeze-aneng.
Re lokeleng yang
Hey,
lokelang, man.
squeeze-aneng, everybody. And I think
Hey.
if we can have that mentality, ukuthi masiwina siwinise nabanye abantu, and that's why abantu bahlala bathi, hey, don't teach people how to make a wrap, whatever, because I make lunch boxes as well to try and help parents to make like homemade lunch boxes for kids and stuff like that. So one of the plans is to actually teach them how to make amarep at home. And people are like, whatever, yes. But that's great. Wouldn't you feel great? Would you inspired
How someone
somebody
how
to
well.
start a business?
Oh.
And noma bangayenza irep, it will never be like
Yes, hey,
mine.
you'd never be
Hey,
the
that's
same.
why
Hey,
omunye prefers Albany bread, omunye prefers red ribbon. It's
Safco,
because
whatever.
there's certain different ingredients or whatever that they do
Sure.
that gives omunye umuntu a better taste than the other. So there's nothing wrong with that.
True, true.
And that's the mentality we need to adopt as abantu
Fine. Yeah.
basekasi. Let's win together.
Let's collaborate.
Let's collaborate.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
educate each other.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, wow. Ay, man, nasiyan din, man. Wendelen. Ay,
Mm.
nasiyan din, man. How
Mm.
about yeah, so, word of the week. Oh, what's the word of the week from Mom Tobias there? Ha. What are the word
The
of the
word
week?
of the week.
A word of wisdom, yes.
I think something that has always stuck with me. I can't remember who said this. I think it was somebody I know, and it kind of like makes a lot of sense
Mhm.
for me. It has always made a lot of sense.
Sure.
Ukuthi we can all have the same information,
Yeah.
but what we do, each of us do with that information, sets us apart from the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I think
That's the word of the
that's
week.
my word of the day.
Word of the week.
We can
That's
all
like a word of the
complain
week.
about the same
Yeah.
thing, but
Yeah.
one person from that information
Sure.
will turn it into something
For sure.
amazing.
For sure.
Mm.
That's true. That's
Mm.
true. So, so any for entrepreneurs out there looking at us today, looking at you today, like your sister share my pushing you today. How would you say to them? Or how would you say to them?
Um, I think it all starts with loving what you do. Don't do it because ubona ngathi usisithobile iyamsebenzela leyo nto leyo. Usisithobile loves what she does,
Yeah.
and it doesn't feel like a job.
Mm-hmm.
I can wake up in the middle of the night and do it,
Mm-hmm.
so whatever that you are going to start as an entrepreneur, you need to make sure that it's something that you absolutely love to do, and also have a learning spirit. If you don't have a learning spirit, udzibinki, you are not you're not going to go very far. So you need to
Yeah.
be a person who enjoys learning, and also a person who takes criticism. We all think our businesses are amazing, and whatever is amazing, but you have someone that will come and say, actually, Mina,
Hayi
you
ngizizwa
know,
kanje.
yeah, ngizizwa kanje. It's okay. The,
Mm.
the 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 thing to do is maybe wena bowungayenza kanjani,
Yeah.
or maybe how would I make it so that we tand.
Mm.
That feedback is valuable, very, very important.
Yeah.
If you are surrounded by people that love everything you do, I
Lenkinga, kushuthi hayi lenkinga.
usenkingeni.
Senkingeni kwamambela,
Usenkingeni,
senkingeni
yeah,
kwamambela, ne?
yeah.
Senkingeni kwamambela.
Mm.
So before nje sithi si-wrap up, before si-wrap up.
Wrap up.
Babakutholaphi? Where can people follow you? Where can people get a hold of you? Maybe badinga a little motivation yana, or maybe mentorship yana. We offer mentorship la. Angithi ningizwile maqala uthi skill development. So don't worry. You need something. Go and use spam lapha kuma social wakhe. Make sure ukuthi you knock until
That's
avula.
gonna be my side hustle very soon.
So for sure.
Yeah, so I am on Facebook.
Yeah.
My business page is Tobs Wraps on Facebook, and it's Tobs underscore Wraps on Instagram. Those are the two platforms I'm on right now. And then can I give out my number? Because it's a business
It's a
number as
business
well.
number, yeah.
Yeah.
Business number
Yeah,
is
so it's 082 343 8779, meaning only business hours.
business hours only and business
Business hours.
related.
Business related,
Related.
yes,
Then if you want to
definitely.
order, we are at Kona and
Kona Muahi
Chonamwa
and
and
Birman Road.
Birman Road.
We also on Mr. D and Uber Eats.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we are everywhere. You can find us everywhere.
Yeah, so yo, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us today. And yeah, it's really like guys today. Word of the week. If you have information and you don't know how to use that information, uyafana kahle kahle nomuntu ongayiphethanga leyo information leyo. Understand? So make sure ukuthi whatever information you have, implement it. You understand? Implement. If it fails, continue implementing. If it fails, find another way to do it until it works. You understand? Don't just give up in it because we only tried once. Colonel Sanders, he tried, yo, I don't know how many times. How many times he tried. KFC namhlanje sidla ngathi angazi angithola, but he tried now. So now be like Colonel Sanders. You understand? And yeah, from me to you, Professor, love and light, ngiyezolo phandisa ka e-Tobs Wraps namhlanje. Khona Moaki and Bernard Street. So sithola ku-Mr. D, sithola ku-Mr. Uber. Yeah, bafethu, love and light from me to you. Ngiyazi. Awe bafethu.
Away.
Awe. Ayasibonga,
Tambo.
No, tambo.